In this lesson, we're going to talk about formatting strings. You already know how to concatenate strings. We've seen two different ways to do it. The plus operator, it's overloaded when used with strings. It allows you to concatenate two strings together. And we've also seen the plus equal sign, which allows you to take the existing string and add a new string to it. So kind of a shortcut of the concatenation. But what if you need to format numbers to look like a phone number or a social security number or a credit card number or some other odd arrangement of numbers and other dashes and parentheses and all kinds of strange characters? Or what if you need to show a currency other than the US dollar sign? Or what if you need to show some custom date format that's not supported by one of the little helper methods on the date-time object? Well, that's where you would use the string.format. So as you can see, I have a new project here, cs-asp_019. Same routine as before. Here's the folder, look in the before, copy it into your projects, open it up, and you'll be where I'm at right now. It's a simple loan application form, very simple. And all I want to do is retrieve some of these pieces of information like the phone number, the social security number, the salary, the date, and then print them out somehow in a result label and make it look like an actual phone number, like an actual social security number, and so on. Okay, so we'll start off in the submit button _click. And the first thing we're going to do is just look at the string.format. So here we're going to create string result equals, and we'll just start with that, and then we'll go result label.text equals result. Okay, so that's ultimately what we're trying to do here. So let's start with just printing out the applicant's name in a nice friendly string like thank you for your business, Bob. Okay, so let's do this, string.format, and then inside of that we'll go thank you, and then we're going to use the string replacement character. It uses an open and closing curly brace and then a number inside of it. It's zero base, so the first one will be 0, the second one will be 1, and so on. So we'll just use the first one here like so, and then we'll pass in the name text box dot text like so. All right, so let's get rid of this so you can really see what's going on here. There we go. All right, so you can see I am basically creating a template, and I'm going to poke in data. The data is going to be whatever comes after the little string template that I create. All right, and then we'll simply print that to the result label. So I'm not going to fill in all the boxes. I'll just fill in my name. In fact, I've done this a couple of times, so I can just double click and select something that I've already typed in and click submit. Thank you, Bob, for your business. All right, that's a nice start. So you can see in a very simple case how it works. Now, what if we wanted to add, for example, the phone number or let's do the social security number. So string, in fact, here, let me just copy what I have here, and we'll add to it your social security number is, and then we'll print that out here. And we'll just do a simple printout for the first time. So ss textbox.text. All right, so you can see here that I have the first item in the list after the template will be indicated by the replacement code 0, and the second item will be indicated by the replacement code 1, which will be the value of the text box's text property. So let's run the application. And so I'll just choose those two boxes because I've already typed things in the past to test this all out. And you can see it says, thank you, Bob, for your business. Your social security number is, and then it gives the social security number. But that's not how we typically like to see a social security number. When we like to see it with the dashes in between and so forth. So what we can do in that case is we can format the given string. And to do that, we're going to have to convert this text box into an integer because the formatting, the string formatting only works with integer values. So I'm going to I'm going to just cut this, and I'm going to go back to the previous line and go int and I'll just do SS for Social Security. I probably should type it out, but we'll just save a few strokes here. And we'll go int.parse. So we've converted the number inside of the Social Security text box to an integer. And now that we have that, we can pass that in like so. And what we need to do is format this replacement code. And the way to format it is to use a colon after the replacement code number. So in this case, 1. And then we can use the number 0 to indicate the pattern we want the numbers to follow. So we'll have 3 numbers dash 2 numbers dash 4 numbers. All right, so now let's go ahead and run the application. And again, we'll select Bob, and we'll select Social Security number, and we'll click Submit. And look how it formatted the values that I typed in here in the string, like a real Social Security number. Cool. Now what I'd really like to do is to add like a break between those two lines. There's a couple of different ways to accomplish this, but if you're using string.format, the easiest way is to actually just inject some HTML in here. And again, this will only work for web applications, not for like Windows Forms applications or console window applications. This only works because we're working with HTML. So what I can do right here is to put a BR. So this is an HTML line break code. Open angle bracket, BR, space, / close angle bracket. All right, so this will just create a line and push it underneath like so. Now when we run the application, and in fact, we can apply any HTML inside the string once you learn a little bit more HTML. Might not be the best way to go about this, but it's certainly possible. Okay, and you can see now we jump down to the next line. Very cool. All right, let's format the phone number. It's going to take a very similar tact, so I'll just go through it real quick. In fact, I'll comment this line out, and we'll go int phone equals phone text box dot text, and we'll wrap that with an int.parse. And then we will create a break and then go phone : and we'll do line replacement code number 2. This will be the third item, and then we'll do parentheses for the area code, space, the first 3 digits dash the last 4 digits like so. And then I'll add another argument to the very end. So now we're passing in 3 items, and we have 3 replacement codes, 2 of which are formatted in a very specific way. All right, so let's see what we get now when we run it. And we'll select the name again, and I'll type in my phone number. Again, I've typed this phone number, and so it already remembers it. And I'll type my Social Security number, it remembers that. Obviously, that's not my real Social Security number. All right, and so here you can see now the phone number is formatted nicely as well. All right, but what about dates? We already know how to format simple dates using the to short date string, to short time string, to long date string, to long time string, okay? But what if one of those doesn't satisfy the requirements for our business? Say we had some really complicated way of rendering a date. Well, what's neat, here, let me comment this out, is that, first of all, let's just grab the date and add it to our string here. In fact, you know what I really would like to do, because this is getting long and unwieldy, I'm going to start breaking things up onto new lines of code. Like so, like this. And I'll separate them at that break tag, so it'll be consistent all the way down. And then we'll just do this, like so. I think I can read that a little bit more easily. If you can't, you can go ahead and just keep on going off to the right-hand side. I like everything to stay in about, about at 80 columns or so. And you can see the number of columns right here down at the very bottom of Visual Studio. It will say, line number 27, column 84, So we're in that 80 ballpark there in character 84. So let's expand out as well. Okay, and so this time we're going to plus, and we'll do another break, and we'll put the loan date. Now, we can do something as simple as this. Let's see what we get if we just do the insertion code like that. And we'll do loan calendar.selected date, like so. And we'll see what happens. Maybe the sparks will fly. Maybe it won't take it at all. Or maybe it'll do some default formatting. Let's see what happens. All right, so here's the name. Here's the phone number. Here's the social security number. And let's pick July 4th. And then click submit. All right, and so it does some default formatting. But what if my business doesn't want that, that default string to be printed? Well, you have some control over how you can output strings. And so if you take a look on screen right now at this shortcut, you'll get to this web page, custom date and time formats. And it's pretty interesting. If you scroll down past kind of the beginning parts, there's these format specifiers, and they allow you, and they give examples here on the right hand side, they allow you to pick apart a date and reassemble it as a format in the string.format. So, you can just look through here, the day of the month from 1 to 31, the day of the month from 01 to 31, the abbreviated name of the day of the week with 3 lowercase d's, and they even get down to formatting milliseconds, and then hours, lowercase h's, or uppercase h if you want to give like military time. Scrolling down, M's for minutes, lowercase m for minute, capital M for month, and the different ways you can represent a month, like the full name of the month, here with 4 capital M's together. And if you move down to years, you can see there's all different ways to format years. There's several other things like percentages and things of that nature. But what we're going to do is concoct our own little format here for our date. And what we'll do is we'll take, I think, what is the 3Ds again? It's the, 3Ds together, something odd. Yeah, the abbreviated name of the day of the week. So like if it's Wednesday, it would just be WED, all right? And then we'll go dash dash and then pick the day number. So it'd be like 4. And then comma, and then we'll just do M for the month, and then 2 Y's for just the 2 last digits. So it's 2014 when I'm recording this, then it would just be 14 would be rendered out on this loan date. Again, you can get as crazy as you want to with how you format it. You just use those little codes in that chart, and it'll help you pick apart the date and represent it the way you want to. So as we run the application, let's go with the name, with the phone number, with the social security number again. Let's pick a date and let's click submit. And you can see we have this very odd Friday --4 because it's the 4th. The month is 7 and 2014 just represented with the two digits. Okay, so that's how you would work with dates. Also, you can work with currencies. Now let me comment all of that out. But I want to copy it and use that as kind of the starting point. Let's take that salary information and add that on here. So another BR, and then salary, colon, and then we'll go with number 4. And we'll just go ahead and take the results of that text box. So salary text box dot text, and let's see what we get by default. All right, Bob, phone number, social security number, all right, 9th, and then let's just put like a 50,000. Okay, and hit submit. And you can see there's no formatting. We would hope to see a $sign, but maybe also a comma between the 50 and the other 3 zeros. And maybe if there were cents involved, we would expect to see .00 as well. So the way we can format a currency is to use the $C. That would indicate that we want the currency that's currently being used on this server. So what we're going to do first is remove salary, because we need to turn this into a double. So double salary equals double.parse like so, and then we'll put salary back here, right? And now let's just see what we get by default. All right, so I'm going to select all these again. 17th, and then we'll just pick our $50,000 salary. And you can see now at the very bottom here, it formats that salary nicely. Now, I have another, here, standard numeric format strings. This is sort of like the web page I showed you a moment ago for the date strings, for the formatting of the date strings, except it works with numbers, obviously. And you can scroll down and see that there are various ways to represent exponential values, fixed point, other numeric types of values, and so on. Okay, so hopefully now you have a better understanding of how to format strings so that you can not only concatenate them together, but you can also format them to look like a specific dollar format, date format, or numerical format based on your application's requirements. And you're going to use this in the challenge in just a little bit. So make sure you have it under your belt, okay? And make sure you add it to your cheat sheet like we're going to do in the very next lesson. We'll see you there. Thanks.